So, yes, hello. You probably came to notice the title of the video. It is not about playing piano wrong, incorrectly. It is more about playing it correctly. Before we get into whatever the video is, let me announce that the score of the ballet for piano solo is already live. You can download it for free. And yeah. In the meantime, as we speak, I'm gonna keep editing this session because for whatever reason, I don't know why, this looks different in the PDF, right? PDF. So let's edit it a little further, or let's pause the video and see if it is already edited and I am opening a different version, because I am completely sure that I am opening a different version. Let's pause the video for a second. We just started and we can't even continue. Yes. I noticed something different. Regardless, let's continue. And yeah, but since it is about playing piano correctly, it might be also the ballet for piano solo is a horrible monstrosity, and is complicated, but yeah, it is the reduced version, or better yet, it started it has to do something, has something to do with linked through the silence, and it started as a ballet for piano, but I never thought it could be ballet for piano solo, because I was thinking it in the breakchord format, which includes drum sets, different, like multiple layers for the bass, I don't know, and the solo voices were done by the synthesizer. So eventually it is this is not a reduced version. Sometimes we have reduced versions for piano solo, but this is a piece for piano just orchestrated somehow. It's not orchestrated in the sense of coloring. If you know what symphonic colors are, fine, but if you don't, let me tell you. Symphonic colors, what they do is they are like a mixing technique of instrumentation techniques, sort of like you have three techniques in three different instruments playing at the same time, different rhythmic patterns, and the rest of the instrumentation is accompaniment, right? So yeah, that's orchestration in a nutshell, but eventually it's way more complicated than that, but you get the point. You have viola doing pizzicato, violin sul tasto, solo flute, and the rest is accompaniment. Really beautiful. That's one color. Another color can be double bass trombone with timpani, and brass solo with French horn and trumpet and tenor trombone. The rest is accompaniment. Super slow, super calm down adagio, and that's orchestration, that's symphonic colors, that's how you make it happen. Well, that's not how you make it. That's a brief, short, pretty simplified, extremely simplified version of what orchestration does. But eventually, this is the original version of linked through the silence. So, as I continue to edit this, we will talk about just so you can see, I'm using MuseScore Studio. Really beautiful. You can use it. It's open source, so you help a healthy community to keep improving. Um, and it's super easy to edit. You can just do it the Mac way, which is really drag and drop for everything. Ah, okay. let me let me keep up with my words. But yeah, it's a little like super Mac way of doing it. You just have to drag and drop everything. Really simple. I love it. I recommend it a lot. Experts recommend it, so I recommend it. Um, and Valen was saying that why not to get an 8 to 5 job? It seems reasonable after all. What's the deal with this tonality? Well, you find out once you start getting used to it. I place it that way so that it makes sense with the harmonic rhythm of the music. And why not to get an 8 to 5 job? If eventually what you want to do is you want to fund your music projects. I'm very often talking about it. I'm very often saying that the perfect corporate move is creativity, but when you own a debt, the worst thing that can happen to you is to be creative. Because nobody wants a creative person amongst these so glorified debt owners in the sense of capitalism. They might, but they might not. I just forgot how I can erase this from here, so I'm not gonna bother because these are all part of the expression. I'm on a layer. I do have different layers with different colors, and I don't remember where they are. And so I think that having an 8 to 5 job allows you to fund your career in a way in which nobody can fastidiate so much that you have to embrace this idea that a debt is the best solution to your case. That your situation what I'm trying to say is that some people will try to say that your music is worth nothing, your product. But first, you cannot become a product. You should never allow other people to tell you, oh, your product is um, way too much, way too expensive, it's worth a lot, I consider it so amazing and whatever. And then let that people tell you that you have to give them the money. That's like they throw seeds of poison to the soil and they want to take back the flowers that you planted. That should be illegal, amongst rational people. And that reasoning might be hindered by the fact that you might be in the clouds of finding cash and for the first time having money. But no, a debt. That's why the other day I said the United States is the land of cancer. What better source of cancer than a credit card. That's cancer, bro. So one of the premises that I've been living since forever is that if you stimulate someone else's ego and someone else's self-centered perception of their own, they will end up giving you money. So that's why persuading in business is so important, because you need to put someone on the downside by up their game, by means of up their game, so that they feel upward, and then they automatically have a debt with you. It's not a psychological fact, it's a human fact, which makes it even worse, the intention of having to interact with someone that way. And it forces you to surrender to a debt, which it's really hard. I mean, it hits hard when you know that you are creative, that you are creativity, because I am so conscious. I know some people from the United States might say, like, no, we live in the cancer era, there is no creativity, you need to solve the problem of music because music is a problem, you need to solve it with Fruity Loops, you need to solve it with Cracks Uno Pro, you need to solve it by means of a MIDI chord pack that mutilates creativity in a commercial fashion, and therefore people will love you. You know, this sort of crazy pathetic idea of mediocrity to an express, mediocre express, let's call it mediocre express, like Trans Europe Express, but in a mediocre express. And you see, there is this whole perception that in order for you to be a successful musician, you have to own a debt and use tons of cancer. I hate it. I really hate it. And the people who know me knows that. And it's okay, because most of the time when people are solving the problem of music with their mediocre idea of whatever it is that they have in mind, that's when you can see why is it so important to realize that sometimes people who work in the music industry, how long has been this video? Sometimes the people who work in the music industry are not the one who sell the records. Is the one who play the music. Is the one who is on the stage. Is the one who has built a relationship with people. Whether the relationship is good, is bad, is fun, a crazy person who might want to go to every concert, who might want to enjoy every song you post, even buy your merch and sort of somewhat, some way, somehow develop their identity in a non-compulsory way by evaluating whatever it is that you do as a constructive relationship that doesn't destruct. Because when we are identifying, when we are constructing the identity, the human identity, we don't tend to have this idea that we don't care about anything, we want to destroy the world. That doesn't exist, no matter how cynic the person is. But what you do is you evaluate whatever is constructive, whatever is destructive, and based on that is that you make decisions. I like giant pants because of this or this or that. I enjoy more my fashion this way. I enjoy this type of music better. I enjoy my life in group with these people. I don't enjoy this type of music. I hate this type of comments. You know, these things are based always, it's a human fact, scientifically proved, that you always get to develop your identity in a non-compulsory way if you evaluate what is constructive and what is destructive, and based on that you start a relationship with your likeness, with the things that you enjoy. But we live in a world ruled, or at least, no, let me put it another way. We live in a world a planet filled with thousands upon millions, upon maybe thousands of millions, upon thousands of millions of poor people, or people who do not have yet access to money, or worse, in some cases, people who don't have the right to money, don't have the means to get to it by whatever reason, whatever that is happening there, we don't know, but they don't have access to money. So it's a poor people planet. Yeah, of course. I always say the analogy that Donald Trump and the Donald Trump and his regime as soon as possible, coup d'etat, I don't know, wake up people and choose democracy instead of Donald Trump. But it's a true fact, democracy reflects the genetic memory of society. And when you don't have a bloodline so clear that you respect in every direction, you end up being the rich guy who has no idea, who has no studies on social sciences, in political sciences, and economical sciences, out of a reality TV show, trying to govern a country. Tropical. That's really pathetic. That's why you can see it's another type of cancer in a circus. And so we need to have good memory. And to have good memory, we need other things. We need more than blood. We need to understand and to respect that sometimes we can't interact with certain people naturally, and that therefore naturally we tend to hate the things that we fear. But sometimes some people are truly scary. So we hate the people that we fear. It's a natural fact. Sooner or later we will end up saying, I hate this situation, I hate this person because it makes me feel fear, because this guy makes me feel scared. This so-called white guy identity is making me feel scared, and I hate that person because it's natural that I don't want to feel scared and enjoy feeling scared just because someone else wants to enjoy that, particularly a white guy identity. And what I have seen with my years of experience on watching how people get into debts is that the world is full of poor people, and we don't need debts. We need a solution. No more. A debt is another problem, but we don't need more problems. We need solutions. And sometimes I see it in a fashion that is a little too incorrect, like you saying, for example, no, see, I'm super talented, I am super committed, I am super determined, I put tons of time, tons of effort, tons of consciousness, and my products are awesome. I think I want to sell them. But what if your family needed someone doing something else, and they were willing to pay you if you were willing to learn or at least master this knowledge? will you go out and say, no, I want to sell my sons? That will be giving the back to your family. Of course, nobody lives in the perfect family I live, I know it. But the point is not living in the perfect family. The point is coexistence and being in harmony. So when it is not a genetic link with the people that you live with, it needs to be as diplomatic as possible. It ought to be something important, with respect, with distances, with spaces, with terrain, with interactions, with small passages where we may get to know each other, discover each other, find each other. And there are some rules for that, because it is important that you show respect to people. And the way you can show respect to the people you live with and that you're surrounded of is by establishing 3 key points, which are the notion of democracy from a society perspective. You cannot say, is the government of the rich, fuck the poor people, we are the rich ones. It makes no sense. What about the people who don't have the money yet? You can't promise money to everybody when you don't know how to solve the problems. That would be like making the orifice a little way bigger. No, don't be incoherent about it. Try to be less compulsive. And one is definitions. What are the things that surround you? What is this? If I don't know what this entity here in front of me was, I will be super scared. Oh, I don't know about it. But if you start by defining what surrounds you, you describe the world. So you need to be able to describe the world to make definitions. Then you need to give explanations, which is the second one. Explanations why the world is the way it is. How is the world are the definitions. How it is, what are its characteristics, its prerequisites to be there. And then you give explanations. Why the world is the way it is. How is it that it come to be that way? And explanations. You give them. You don't request them. You just give them when it is the right time to do it, when it is opportune to say it. And finally, you express rules of interaction. That's when there is no genetic link, when your family is not related by blood. And you have rules, definitions, and explanations. And as long as you respect that 24/7, there is democracy. If you don't respect that, there is tyranny. And if you like dictatorship, fuck you. You can go somewhere else. But if you respect that, regardless of where you live and how it is that you are having your life, regardless of that, if you respect it 24/7, people might have a safe place to live their democracy. And you might discover that your house has to be a democracy that you respect 24/7. And that means that nobody holds the truth. Anybody can govern. It doesn't require a rich guy. It doesn't require the rich promising, oh, I'll give money to all the poor people because I am so compulsory. It doesn't require a rich guy. It requires more ideas. Because that's why this white person has always in mind that because the elections need to be won by the one who has the more money, who has found the more money, then liberty forever, doing whatever I want all day long, every week. No. Democracy is about that the election has to be won by the one who's got the best ideas. And as such, in your democracy might be needs. One of the things that I have learned with punches and kicks from life, it was that when I was young, really young, when I was 15, I graduated from high school at 15 because I was so good at the content that we were learning at the time. And the subjects, I was super young and I understood everything, and I skipped everything ahead. And then I came to professors and they said, you need to do a special education program because your intelligence is way faster, and you will be wasting 2 years of your life, 3 years of your life if you keep doing what we are doing here. We suggest you do this. And I ended up graduating at 15 years old from high school, which meant I was in the university when I was 15 years old. By 20, I was a total success. And one of the things that I wanted to change at the time was that public education requires too many things, and in my democracy I was always up whenever they will give me the word. What do you think? What is your opinion on this? I will always use my time to request money for public education. But I have come to learn that different people have different priorities, and I have come to respect that different people have different priorities. And sometimes it's not that I don't like public education because it is free, because it is handled by the government responsibly. They have experts and people professional in the field of pedagogic methodologies, checking, monitoring every detail that everything is still correct. You know, to make it the best experience possible for everybody. It's not that I don't enjoy it, it's not that I don't like it. Most extreme right people say that they hate education in general, whether private or public, particularly public one, because it allows people to have power and authority. But regardless of they are rich, poor people, as ignorant as they can be, they have the counter power to it, to their authority, regardless of how they express it. So it doesn't matter if you don't like public education, if you don't like education in general, if you want everybody to be ignorant because you know, you are conscious that knowledge is authority. Regardless of that, people in democracy has this counter power to authority and to power, so beautiful, in a nothing, in a vacuum full of nothing, which has the signature of everybody. And that exercise of having the signature of everybody, that everybody comes here and places a sign, I give what I can have, I give what I can give, nobody gives of what they don't have, you know. Everybody has something they can't give just yet. Everybody has something they cannot offer you just yet. Nobody gives what they don't have from what they don't have. People give what they can offer, people offer what they can give. That's the rule. So in your democracy, some people might not be able to tell you, let's build a recording studio in our house, because if you're a little unconscious, you might not know that it might multiply by 4,096 the price of the electricity bill. That's a real crazy experiment, having a recording studio in your house. So, but what if someone needed you to help you build the recording studio, and you don't know anything about construction, and you don't know anything about electricity installation, and you don't know anything about extranet, because you want it really sophisticated, with an extranet or with an intranet installed, and you need to handle the cable and the programming of the entire thing, and you don't know nothing about it. I mean, it's not that I despise public education or that I don't enjoy it. of course, I've been benefit. It has been part of the benefits that living in a country where democracy still exists. A little dying because a little disappearing because of extreme right people, but Adolf Hitler is dead forever. He will not resuscitate. He will not be back to life by extreme means, and if he were to go back to life through some Nazi party, he will be in jail. But still, democracy still exists, and it's not that I don't like public education, but I have come to notice that in my democracy, where my house, where my family, where my things are, there are other needs. There are other needs, and what if I can help on that? What if I can be part of that democracy? The thing that convinced me about democracy is that the person who is way far away from everybody, way there hidden in the mountains between the fog and the forests, might have come with an idea that might have changed everybody's idea of democracy and complement it in a way that nobody thought ever possible, and eventually make it a better democracy. That's one of the arguments that convinced me about democracy, that the person who is alone might be part of the group and suggest something, give from what they have, and make it better, because democracy is not perfect. Sometimes extreme right people say, no, democracy needs to be destroyed because it is not the perfect solution. Of course, it is not the perfect solution if you still have elements of underdevelopment, if you still have elements of poverty, if you still have elements of people with no authority, if you still have people with elements of ignorance. Of course, it is no perfect solution. But neither it is aristocracy, where there is these people with the intention of calling themselves the best of the best of the bestest all day long. They are the better, is the government of the best. What is the criterion for be the best? What is the criterion for be good? Who restricts them from getting crazy, from going crazy with their ideas? Who selects them? Who votes for them? Who controls them? No, that's a dictatorship, where only one person can rule the state. And some musicians go around dictatorship saying, no, I can only sing songs in a perfect way. This is my point, and this is my life, and this I am here. And in terms of dictatorship, it rules correctly, because you can stay there all day long and saying, this is my life, this is what I want to do. But it is not about your life, it's about your democracy that you're handling, that you're part of. And as such, you should be a little more conscious of what surrounds you. Oh no. Of what surrounds you, by not saying, this is mine, I'm gonna do whatever I like, I'm gonna do whatever I want, but rather I'm gonna participate in a dictatorship. It is not strange that most white people who claim themselves anti-white people, but still white people like a sarcophagus that make music, really pathetic and intrinsic and interesting in its own way, saying that they consider better than the poor, and that it is a fair statement, and they don't know anything about justice, they only want to know about cash. And so, what if the people who you misunderstood and disrespect so much, that you call your audience and the public who enjoy your music, don't have that money for you to go around in golden Lamborghinis? What if that people don't have that money? What are you gonna do? kill them, like all extreme right people do. It is not strange that the most of the richest musicians are extremely extreme right people. They call themselves extreme right, that because they are millionaire, and that because they are I don't know what, and this and that, and because they have a giant debt, they have authorities over everybody. It's horrible. And it is not strange that they are that way. It's very natural, because money is a way of cancer. It's a bit of a cancer thing. And more often than not, they come from the United States. So there is this idea that in order for you to have success in music, you have to sell records. It's a poor people planet. Stop trying to sell records. Try to fix the world. Try to help contribute with whatever you can give, with whatever you can offer. And please don't say you don't have anything to offer. Please don't say, I don't have anything. I only have my songs. That's false. We have a brain that is, at least if we use it at 5%, we could have fixed this planet way like at least 2 centuries ago. We could have fixed this planet if we all used our brains for at least 5%. Now, the ambition and mediocrity go together. So don't let this distract you. And just because other people are mediocre and saying, no, look, selling records is the best, because selling records, and you check about their workflow when they are in the studio, and they are using a Suno Pro to this, Suno Pro to that, AI to this, AI to that, to fix and do the job for them. And at the end of the story, the cherry over the cake is that they use this auto-tune because they don't want to learn how to sing a song. Their misery is so big, and they want to hide it with money so bad that it becomes evident. So it is true. I mean, we all tend to be a little childish sometimes and live this Faustic epoch in which everything can get destroyed. And what if the world goes over? And that's really conformism and mediocrity at its purest. But what if it doesn't? What if it only lasts one day, and the next day nothing disappears, and you still have the problems, and you live in a democracy you are not part of? As I am saying this, I think I have to be a little bit of an advocate of the devil for what I'm about to say. Because you are not, this is for you, you are not ready to have an 8 to 5 job, bro. You need to wait a little longer. The point with learning is not memorizing contents that the professor or the dynamics of pedagogic techniques, whether modern or obsolete. It doesn't depend on whether they are obsolete or whether they are modern. It depends on your disposition. And when one is so young, one cannot behave oneself by oneself. One needs mother, one needs father to tell you, bro, stop fucking around, make silence, try to concentrate, try to write what is important, take the key takeaways and write them down in 3 words. How are you gonna simplify a phrase of a person, whether obsolete or modern, in their approach to pedagogic statements? How are you gonna simplify that much of information in 3 words if you don't know who you are? And what I am giving to you is the opportunity to grow faster and take advantage of your time to develop that part right now, so that when you come to the real 8 to 5 story of the pedagogic or of the university or whatever other means that you have to put your brain to work to, whatever that is, you have to do it and develop it right now. Some people let that work to the school and say, I'm going to the school and they will have to find a way to fix me. But I consider that it is really incorrect. I consider that it is not possible and nobody will do that for you. Nobody will ever nobody will come and tell you do this, do that. Get better this way, get better that way. Nobody can do that for you. You have to be ready for that. And what happens in school when people try to leave that to professor, teacher, do that, is they will put you great notes, great qualifications, because they don't know, they don't have a way to dispatch you. But that doesn't mean the job is done. It only means they don't have a way to get rid of you. And so that time of being invest so that time of if you invest your time on other people to try to dispatch you by doing whatever they have to do to dispatch you, I think you might be wasting your youth, which you can be investing in developing your identity, in developing your connection to the infinite, revealing yourself, discovering your body as a temple, discovering your soul, discovering your mind, discovering your inner voice, all devoid of imaginary contemporary components, and invested in your music, invested in your time. And that's why the modern approach to education has come to defeat the old obsolete model, which is at your own pace. Why at your own pace? Because we all learn in different methods and different models. Some are more inclined to visually learning, others more inclined to practically, others more inclined to theoretically. But it doesn't mean that is the only solution. The point here is not whether we learn in different ways, it's how fast we can approach the knowledge that we interiorize, and it has to go through your soul, it has to go through your heart like an arrow. If it doesn't go through your heart like an arrow, you are doing nothing other than wasting your time. It is said that young people never let themselves and never get to learn anything before 11 years old. So putting your kids in a school for 11 years if you start at 1 year old, or for 5 years if you start at 5 years old, is a waste of time, is a waste of their youth, is a waste of energy, is a waste of money, because that is expensive. I mean, it's not that I am against this is expensive, but how are you gonna make it to keep teachers entertained and attracted and constant with good cash? You have to request good cash from the fathers and from the people and whatever. And it requires quite a machinery to happen. And so it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. And sooner or later you will get tired of it. Trust me, you'll be better off. Once the time has come, you should be able to tell whether or not you're ready for that. Whether or not you have achieved such level of personal development. What was the one that I was using? Four. Good. Such level at personal development that you eventually can evaluate. So for example, you can stop a person by saying to that person, you need to control your aggressivity, you need to control your attitude, you need to change that, and I can help you. And if I can't help you, your family might be able to help you. And if your family cannot help you and I cannot help you, then police will come and punch you, put a fine on you, and there will be prison for you for at least 2 years. Try to change for the better. And that is the discourse. If you don't have that discourse clear in your mind, in your mouth, in your words, in your daily life, for anybody, even an aggressive person bigger than you, you're not ready for school. Because school is the reflection of society. That's where everybody is. The one who steals, the one who is a leech, the one who is not, the one who is good, the one who is bad, the one who wants to learn something, the one who don't want to learn anything. It's everybody there. And you have to deal with that. Either way, you will have to deal with that. So in order for that to happen correctly, you need to be prepared so that it doesn't impact you negatively. It's not because I am scared that people will make fun of you. It's not that, bro. I guarantee you. I'm super proud of you, and I'm happy that you're ready to tackle myself and say, no, bro, you're late on this subject. But I'm not late on this subject. I'm low to something else. So you might think, and you'd be right, that what is it that you need to get there. Because it's not only about socializing and having friends and good people. Those friends and good people, you can wait for them at the end of the school. You can go and wait for them when the daily cycle is over, and go with them and hang around. You already know how to take a train. I trust you're going to go there and be there and have your conversations there with the people there. I trust you're not gonna make any mistake. I trust you're not gonna do something stupid, although because you're young, you might go and do something very stupid. I might gonna have to go out and say, kids always bringing problems, and forgive you and help you with the problem, and talk to the police and tell them that you're a kid, that you made a mistake, because that's what happened to all the kids, and they, as police officers, they also know it. They also know it, and they also know that kids are very dumb. That kids always bring problems on the streets and in the city. When kids become problematic, that's when the thing changes completely. But I trust you're gonna be there. I trust you're gonna be doing what you have to do. I trust you're gonna be doing nothing wrong. I trust you might do what you say to me that you're gonna do. I trust everything. You just have to wait and be patient about it. Let me see here, I think. And if you say you're going to go to the school to meet the people that you wanted to hang around with, I will trust you. And if you go somewhere else, I will notice it. I will know that you're going somewhere else. I think I'm gonna make a bit of a hack here because this line doesn't help me very much. These two pianos, and I need it to be one piano. If you're reading this score, you might need to know that this is the melodic line. This goes here and goes on top here and then continues here and then continues in the other one. It's jumping ahead by some strange units. Sorry, I didn't edit it correctly and I'm not gonna start editing correctly right now. Sorry. Yeah, it's wrong, but you get the point. No, I think I made it completely wrong. This score is horrible. No! I made a mistake because I cannot play it correctly. But if you read it, you might get the idea. Or am I doing it correctly? I don't know. I have so many songs that I can't distinguish them. I don't know which is which. It's not fair. I hate it. Who are you, bro? Bro. Bro.
¿Cómo te atreves a difamar así a mi familia? Fue el propio duque de Carvajal y Cifuentes quien nos invitó. Nosotros no nos rebajaríamos nunca a imponer nuestra presencia. No te negaré que he oído el rumor, pero puedo asegurar que no tengo nada que ver. Pues no sé dónde habrá podido salir. Pero dicen que cuando el río suena, abajo, eres lo peor de lo peor, Margarita. Una miserable, sin principios ni conciencia. Piensa lo que quieras, Cruz, pero no vas a enfundar. No. Mis futuros sueños son tan innovadores. El rey, ¿cuál es que dices del rey? Cállate. Hoy has probado tu propia medicina, Cruz Izquierdo. Todos te han tratado con el mismo desprecio con el que llevas años tratándonos con nosotros. No deberías haber venido.
I think it is correct. I think it is correct, and you may find out why. Yeah. Next. And so it's not about me being scared about they telling you what to do and what not to do. It's not about that at all. It's not that I'm scared about anything. What I am sure is that you're not ready for that. In the learning process might become a real pain.
¿Cuál es el momento más importante? ¿Y quién es la persona más especial? ¿Y cuál es el propósito de la vida?
Y si no es mucho preguntar, ¿qué sucedió?
Que ninguno de ellos fue capaz de contestar atinadamente. Así que tuve que descartarlos a todos.
¿A todos?
A todos.
Eso es decir, plegable, Alteza.
¿Qué quería? ¿Que me casara con un necio?
No.
Había pensado que quizá usted...
Yeah, but I think this here, if it is not evident to you as a piano expert, I'm gonna make it clear here.
El momento más importante. ¿Quién es la persona?
Pianissimo.
¿Y cuál es el propósito? Adelante.
The whole piece is pianissimo, you know? I don't use dynamics very often here. Di-di-da-din. Ah, this part is beautiful. This holds a fermata somewhere.
La persona más especial es con la que estás en este momento. La que estás bendecido.
And
Y el propósito.
the point is not that I get...
La que está junto
Sorry.
desde hace. Porque ese es el mayor fin en la vida.
That I get scared or anything is that I consider it is important for you to develop as a human being, not as a learning machine. And you might tell like, oh, look, let me try, and then if you let me try, go to school and try and be new and start and get in the mood and in the train, and it is against the clock and I want to be there and it is a fun experience. Of course it is fun, of course it is entertaining, of course it is interesting, but it is also rigorous. What I am afraid of is the part of being rigorous. You are not set up to be a rigorous person when you are that young. That's when I say you're required to be a little bit at your own pace. But if you see what you have built so far, and you go and you try right now, you try school right now, you may see, oh look, but I am better than I thought I would be, and my friends and everybody conclude that I am very well shaped learning. That's because of what you have been building, not because I am wrong. I am not wrong. I'm telling you the truth, and the truth, when you speak the truth, original truth, forever truth, bliss, absolute bliss, you're never wrong. Whether people respect you or whether people disrespect you and tell you you are an egocentric, self-centered person, or whether they respect you and say thank you when you tell them the truth, is a secondary story. You can try it. I mean, why not? But I don't think it is the right time to do it. I don't think it is the right time to do it. The right time now is to sleep, to do yoga, to start having martial discipline with yoga, reading about yoga, Kundalini yoga, the sacred scriptures, because most teachers in the university, in the school, they are wrong about what they tell you. And you need to know when to defeat them, how to defeat them, how to earn your reputation, how to earn your respect, and give them a lesson of what they don't know because they are not perfect, in a respectful manner, with wise words, not with opinions. And the wise words are in the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, not anywhere else. Do you know how to write and read Punjabi, for example? Do you know how to interpret the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji correctly? In a context of finances, in a context of mathematics, in a context of biology, which are the classes that they impart you there. Do you know about that? You need to have your armament and your ammunition if you want to go there. You cannot go there blank and with no weapons like everybody else. It's a battle and you are set up for success if you are set up to win that. If you're not, then why? If you want to plant the seed of love, and if you want to plant the seed of friendship and be a valuable person to other people and socialize and have friends and have beautiful relationships and enjoy life with other people who are in the same train of thought, then yes. If not, why education, But if you don't know what you have to contribute, if you don't know who you are, then why? Why do you need to go outside? Is it because you feel trapped here? Well, that's one opinion that I might respect and say, well, yeah, we might find to have you go and do Kundalini yoga somewhere else and discover the city, go with the adults, stay with the adults for a while. That's the story. But school, you have to be ready for professors to get the wrong opinion on you, to judge you incorrectly, intentionally, in order for you to show who you are. It's a test all day long, and that is the part that needs to be held with fun, with jokes, with interesting opinions, with fun comments, interesting and also rigorous. And you haven't defeated me even in one argument about it, then why? If you are to defeat me in one of those arguments, in 2 weeks, I will help you to get there into school in 4 weeks. But if not, let's just don't bother. And so, bro, don't get ahead of your time. You might get the opposite result, which is, but nobody understands me, everybody restricts me, nobody wants to hear my opinion, nobody understands my opinion, nobody respects my opinion, and I feel trapped. And what are the notes? If they cannot define the human being, then why use them? I always take the worst notes. I am not learning anything. I can't apply what I learned. I don't remember what I learned. The teacher said this and I wrote it down, but I don't understand it. All the wrong ideas, all the wrong processes, all the wrong things happening because you are not set up for success, because you didn't configure yourself correctly beforehand. That's what I'm trying to say. And it is slow, it is with patience. We could try learn Punjabi together. That's a challenge. We could try learn Punjabi together. And then if you like, you can comment on this video to make a series of opinions on how to succeed in a corporate job, in an artistic project, and in school. If you want me to do that, I can give you a few tips on that will defeat any professor in school, that will defeat any teacher in school, because teacher and professor is like, the professor title is a little with more respect because has ages of experience, and the teacher is a person who dominates the concepts and dominates the field and understands and holds it pedagogically correctly. But professor is quite a title, often assigned to older, mature, over 70 years old people. Yeah, if you want me, I can set you up for success. If you want me, I can configure you correctly for that, but it might take you 1 year, 2 years. And after you master all the concepts that I'm about to give you, after that, you might want to go there finding the right match to play esgrima, for example, with a teacher. And sometimes let them win, and sometimes defeat them. And be prudent, and be generous, and be who you are. So if you want me to, Let me know. Let me know what you want to know. I can give you a sort of list on where to begin. If you want to know who you are, I can start talking about identity. If you want to be successful in school, about learning, I can talk about success. If you want to talk about concentration and thought process to learn, how to learn and comprehend knowledge, I can talk about the mind. If you want to be a person of projects who can formulate an idea and make it a big project, I can talk about projection. If you want me to talk about health, I can talk about the kitchen. Let me know what you want to do, and I will give you a hint here or there about what to talk about and what to do to start you in. But remember, education doesn't start in school, bro. It starts within your house, within your family. You have the blessing, and you are so lucky to have me as your direct blood related person in your family. So if you want, this video became as you and me think. But yeah, it might be what you want to do, what you want to be, where you want to be, with what you want to do with your time. I can help you with that, but remember, you have to start here. You cannot go anywhere else and try and make your mistakes alone and then wait for it to happen and think that it will be correct. Is it responsible for me to let you go that way? Is it responsible for me to let you go without giving you what you have to have in order for you to be the person who plants the seed of love in a school? If you don't go to the school to plant the seed of love, please don't go. Because therefore, why to go to a school? Why is the need to go to a school? To shoot everybody with a pistol because you are amazed at how much pleasure you feel when you pull a trigger? No. No matter how white you are, it doesn't change you. How many breads have you eaten in your entire life? And so, yeah. Bro, I know you're impatient right now because I haven't talked about it, but I am a very practical person with that thing. If you talk about that to me, I will talk about that to you. If you don't say anything, I will say nothing. So this is a lesson on who I am and how I behave with you. If you don't say anything about it, I might not say anything. I will wait for you to mention it and therefore mention it too. Why not? So next time you want to go deep with something else, you just have to ask for it. You just have to mention it and say, bro, I think, and you can tell it with those words. I suggest you do it this way. Bro, I want to do this. I want to know if this project is viable. Can you please assess me? Can you please give me your advice on this subject? I want to do this. I want to do that. Do you consider it good? Do you consider it bad? Is it a good idea? Is it a stupid idea? What are your thoughts on this? Rather than coming here and telling me what I have to do. Because remember, nobody tells me what to do. You cannot come requesting from me. You can come and tell me like, bro, I am on this one. I want to know about this. I am certain that this is what I want, but I don't have any idea where to start. Can you guide me? Can you advise me? And I will do it, sure. So just so you know that I feel disrespected when you come like that, because I have told you that I am protecting you, that I am shaping you in whatever it is. But before you get to anything else, I need to give you the right weapons. I need to give you the right armament, because you are not like other people. Other people go to school to get the title, to get the document, and be done. You are gonna get there, and once you come back here, I'm gonna ask you to show me your authority, and I will correct you and help you in terms of your authority, because if you want to live with me, that's the point. If you want to live with me, you have to show respect for what I believe, for what I try, for what I like, for what I do. And if you don't, you can go live somewhere else. I can support you. I can help you. If you live in my house, it's because you respect my rules. It's that simple. And if you don't like my rules, like for example, you don't want to negotiate, you don't want to get advice, you don't want to anything of what I am offering, what you want is to go straight to school right now, well, we can negotiate and then say that you go live somewhere else and we can find you a place in the city. I don't know. It's not that complicated. It looks much harder than it is. But I can advise you on things. I can help you on things. So yeah, what was this? Good. Yeah, it looks way harder than it is. But it is not necessarily impossible. It's not necessarily bad that you disagree with me. More often than not, you will disagree with me on things. I am a Galopino better than any Lamborghini, and you will notice it in the long run. I handle like a dream. So, whatever that you want to accomplish, whatever that you want to approach, I will handle you like a dream and I will get you there. But if you don't feel like it is working, you need to say those things. And I will try to figure it out too. In the meantime, I suggest you don't go to school. In the meantime, I suggest you prepare for the rigor that it is. I know it has to be interesting, entertaining, and fun, but it also has to be rigorous. And I have studied like three professions and a half in my entire life, and I can tell you it is tough. And I am not an easy guy. I am the toughest of the tough when it comes to responsibility, determination, commitment, discipline, virtues, and other things. And I can guarantee you it's really difficult to approach it. It's really difficult to succeed. And when it comes with problems and other ideas and other people with other realities, it really becomes tough, and you need to be prepared not to frustrate yourself in your first attempt. That's what I don't want to happen to you. To feel frustrated that because you didn't do that the way you wanted it to happen, now you are going to feel like, oh no, this isn't what I wanted. And you might hear and sound this is a little alien to you, because you're not gonna get frustrated, you're not gonna get into it, you're already sure of what you want, of course. But it is a natural reaction that you need to embrace in any way. You need to be open to say, no, this is not the way I wanted. Whenever you start a project, you always need to be open to say, this is not what I enjoy. This is not what I wanted. I made a mistake. I made my choices incorrectly, and now here I am, and I don't want to stand this anymore. You have to be able to tell yourself those things. So let me know one of these days with patience. We have still 5 years to find out what you want to do. With patience, with respect, with ideas, with projects. And yeah, then I will suggest what in my opinion is correct if you want to live with me. If you want something else, you might not want to enjoy my presence anymore. And that's right. That's normal, that's natural too. Sometimes the parents are so upset because their kids want something else. I'm not like them. And here what's happening is quite the opposite. You want me to be different. You want me to change. You want me to do and say something else, and I'm not gonna change. I'm not gonna change my mind. I'm not gonna negotiate anything. And these are the rules. And if you enjoy this giant house with this giant family of crazy people fucking around all day with this or that, you might find as you grow up that we have some rules. And because I am in charge of part, I can give you all the answers in a technical sense, in a spiritual sense, but the other part is the mother. And your mother might have another opinion, and we might have to split, and we might need to have different conversations. But what it's referring to me, I disagree totally, and I'm not gonna be part of that project for a while. But whenever I feel like it is the right time to do it, I will request you so much, and I hope you're prepared, because I'm not gonna be easy on you. I'm really gonna be tough, and you better get ready to train with me. What is the solution for that to not get tough and that to not be so difficult? To train with me beforehand, because you will know how to deal with everything, how to handle everything. I'm giving you the solution, bro. I'm giving you the process. I'm giving everything you will ever need. Take it. And if you hear someone telling you, no, don't listen to him, they know nothing about life. I know everything about life. And if you don't trust that I know everything, every little detail about life, you have to go to my main channel and read the scriptures of the songs that I praise down there. And then after you process them, assimilate them in your interior, you will see, oh, this guy knows everything about life. It's not that I am perfect. It's not that I can explain it. It's not that I can teach that. It's not that. It's that I already know it. It's that I already know that I have that knowledge and that I want to express it to the world. So the little I can say in a humble position is very useful. It will be very useful for you. It will be very useful for your mother. It will be very useful for the humankind. Because that's what we're trying to do with Kirtan. Trying to change the world one person at a time by making humankind better, by making the human world a better world, by making the esoteric world a better esoteric place. So I'm sorry to see you in that position, bro. I'm not gonna change my mind about it. If you want something else, let me know it. Tell me you need to speak out your mind and say, hey, no, bro, I disagree with you because... And instead of thinking of father, daughter, think of brother, sister. More like kind of situation, so that you don't feel restricted by my authority in the subject. Rather a conversation. No, I disagree with you because I believe this, and I talked to mom and she said this, and we can find another solution. Of course, I'm not gonna restrict to anything. If you ask me my opinion here in this place, I can tell you my opinion here in this place. But if you want something else, we can find something else. For example, if you wanted 3 years on your own with your sister somewhere else, or 6 months to try, just to give it a try. I'm not saying get out of my life, get out of this house. No, I'm saying you can try it too. You can have another option. You can have another opinion. You just have to try. And if it becomes a mess, you always have these doors open. And if it becomes a success, you always have these doors open. It's not about accepting what I say as gospel. It's conversating about it with me. Yeah. Yeah, I hope you get the point, and I hope you understand what I say, and I hope you understand that I'm not gonna be easy on you guys. Just because I'm cool and vibing doesn't mean I have to be easy. I have to go easy on you. To be in the place I am today, I was really tough on me, really tough on myself, by exerting pressure, by requesting so much, and by treating myself as the person I have to be. And I can't complain about the life I have come to build myself with my own hands. I can't complain because that will be unfair, that will be unjust. So that's what I want for you, to be able to build the entire thing the same way I did. Yeah, because you deserve it, because it's your birthright. So let me know what you want to talk about, what you want to prepare for that, and I will give you an answer about it, and we can start a series of videos on that, of course. But remember, you need to train before you get to a battle. If you were to have a Kung Fu, I am a Kundalini Yoga, which is also a martial art. But if you were to have a Kung Fu teacher will take you 7 years before getting anywhere else. And then they will say, okay, I am a Kung Fu teacher, you need a Kung Fu master. And then you need 3 to 5 years with a Kung Fu master, and that will be really tough. With me, it's no difference. With me, it's going to be really tough. So that if you value what I say, if you value and respect my opinion, if you agree with me, but if you don't, it's okay. We don't have to agree on everything, every little detail. Is this conversation? Yeah, the fine art of conversation, bro. See you in the next one, and let me know what you think about it.